Hello, my dear friends. It is me, Sanne. So the thing is, it is October now. It is my absolute favorite season of the year. It's Halloween time. It's the time of being inside, being cozy, reading a lot of books. I just wanted to focus on really reading books this year that fit the vibes, basically. This video is gonna be just a cozy reading vlog. We're just gonna read just a bunch of different books. I don't know which ones yet. I will tell you my TBR list for this month, but I just wanted to spend some time reading books that fit the vibes and my mood and the outdoors and whatever, and then just doing a little reading vlog, being like cozy together, talking about the books. That's what we're gonna do. So I have been reading a tiny bit. I will tell you about that soon. So I've been reading a tiny bit already, but what I wanted to do is make like a little TBR list for this season that is mainly just witches, thrillers, fantasy, vampires, that kind of stuff, dark academia. And just really create like a reading list for this month that really everything tiny kind of like fits together and it's all nice and fun. I have a pretty decent list. I think it's like 15 books or something, which I am not planning on reading all of them. These are just books that I want to read and that I feel like fit the fall vibes. And I have put all of them in like the little spinning wheel. So I just let the wheel pick my next read, basically. And I just finished A Diary of Blood because I was just so excited to read that and I didn't really want to wait for the wheel to pick that for me. So I did already read that and it was lovely. It was beautiful. I loved it very, very much. Which is A Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I also read the short story epilogue that she wrote for free, which was like a nice little extra ending on top of that. So that was very cute. And then I just created a list of all the other books that I have on my TBR in general that do fit the specific vibes for spooky season that I'm going for. Let's go over that. Oh, I have 18 books on here, so that's a lot, but we'll just read a few. I won't read all of them at all, but we'll read a few of them. So let's go over what these are. So first of all, we have A Discovery of Witches, which is by Deborah Harkness. I have the book over here so I can see it. I have no idea what it's about. It just says that it has witches in the title. And we have Tales from a Magical Tea Shop. I think I have this one on Kindle. Just sounds cute, cozy, and magical, which is what we're going for. And I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, I think his name is, which is just a pretty thin book that I've had for a while that I've been wanting to read. So, and I have The Witches of the White Woods. No idea, but I'm pretty sure I have this on Kindle. The Shining, which I have read like a quarter of, I think, so far, but I read that like 2 years ago and then I stopped reading. Also because it's a bit maybe too spooky at sometimes for me, but I really want to read it. So we're gonna maybe try and get back into that this Halloween season. And I have The Color of Pain, which I'm pretty sure it's a horror. I have it on Kindle as well. Then a new addition to the list is Ninth House. I bought it just a few days ago on my birthday. I still had like a gift card for the bookstore and I chose that one. And I know it's dark academia and it's fun and there's murder and I felt like it's the perfect read for fall, so I need to put it on here. I do have this spinny wheel thing which I will use if I don't know what to pick, but also if I have a specific book that I really just want to read, I am just gonna read it because I don't know, I'm very much a mood reader. I just feel like when I look at a book, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I want to read, so I'm gonna read that. So yeah, I don't want to like restrict myself too much and be like, you have to read what is on this wheel, because if that's not something that I'm in the mood for at this moment, I'm not gonna enjoy the reading, and then I'm not gonna read a lot, and it's all gonna be like a downward spiral. So, this is just gonna be a very chaotic, but hopefully cozy reading vlog. Anyway, let's get back into the list because it's not even halfway there. Then we have Autumn in Sycamore Park, which I have on Kindle, which is a romance, I'm pretty sure. And I have this is the Dutch title, Ine Mine Mutte, but I think it's Ine Mine Miny, Mo, Eeny, Meeny. I'm not sure what the English title is exactly, but it's by M.J. Arledge and it's a thriller. And I have Hazel's Pentacle, which is by Marta Jongbloed. It's a Dutch book about like a young witch who is taken up by a new coven. I've had it for a while, so I think this is the good time to read that. And I have My Sister the Serial Killer. Still have no idea what it's about. It's literally about serial killer, I'm pretty sure. So that feels very much spooky season approved. And I have A Legacy Witch. Can't remember, probably from my Kindle. I have Aragon, the first part, which is one of my favorite books from growing up. I would just like to read it again, basically. And it's dragons. Feels very much spooky season approved. And I have something that I just interpret as spooky season, which is Baron and Luthien by Tolkien. I don't know why. I feel like little Middle-earth fantasies just feel very fall season to me, basically. And I have Horror Star, but it's like the IKEA horror book. It seems so fun. And I want to read it, so it's on here and it's a horror book. Makes sense. And of course I want to read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which is like a cozy, witchy book. I think it's like about found family and everything, and there's a little romance in it and whatever. So I think it's cute, and I still want to read it, so it's on this list. And I have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, of course, the iconic Frankenstein. We will have to read it someday, and what better day than somewhere during spooky season, you know? So that is on the list right there. And then finally, I have The 40-Year-Old Virgin Witch, which is also a book I have found on Kindle. I think it was one of the free books. It was like free for like a little bit. No idea what it's about, but I can imagine it's like a rom-com about a witch. A 40-year-old virgin witch. I'm not sure. So those are the 18 books which I will be reading during the upcoming weeks. Also, it is currently just the beginning of October. For me, spooky season and fall and everything will not end until I feel like it's nearly Christmas. So maybe beginning of December or something. Like September, October, November, fall season for me. Spooky season will not end after the 31st of October. So I still have like 2 months and I will just be cozy reading my books, enjoying. I've already read The Diary of Blood and it was beautiful. And since I will be needing to start a new book since I just finished A Diary of Blood today, I think it would be a good time to spin the wheel and hopefully we'll get something that I am currently in the mood for. But we'll see about that. So I have the wheel over here. Let me show you. It's like nice and fall colored as well. Okay, we have our little wheel and let's spin it. What are we gonna read? Okay, I will read you the synopsis for this book since we're getting into this book anyway. This is The 40-Year-Old Virgin Witch by Raven Storm. A vampire, a werewolf, and a warlock walk into a bar. But seriously, Aggie gave up that life long ago, even moving across the ocean to avoid it. Power, spells, and the Coven's manipulations were supposedly left behind in the States. When Aggie thought to treat herself on her 40th birthday, the last thing she expected was to be followed home by 3 hunky magical men. She's spent most of her life keeping everyone at arm's length, so why is she suddenly attracting the paranormal like flies to honey? Now these 3 men are competing for one prize. Her. The only problem, Aggie isn't up for the taking. If she gives up her virginity, she unlocks her full powers and loses her life of solitude once her coven finds her. What's a horny virgin to do? It's like her mother always said, you can't take the itch out of the witch, especially one who's a 40-year-old virgin. Wonderful. So we're getting reverse harem witchy spice, I guess. Exciting. Let's get to reading, shall we? Okay, you haven't seen me read much yet, but the thing is, I started reading the book like 3 days ago, and I've read like 25% of the book, and I hate it. It's so bad. It's terribly written. Like, it's not even like bad in a funny way, because sometimes I love books that aren't like original or like a bit weird or over the top, or this is just, I just didn't like the writing, and I didn't like the plot, and I didn't like the characters, and I didn't like the story, and it was all just not good. So what I just did before getting to bed, because I'm gonna read in bed, I spun my wheel again, because I actually this is like a first for me. I have never ever DNF'd a book. I sometimes forget about books, like forget that I'm reading them, and then in like years later I will go back and finish them. But I have never specifically stopped reading a book because I didn't like it. And I actually had to make, in my Notion where I keep track of all my books, I had to like make a new category because I just have never DNF'd a book before, ever. So yeah, I DNF'd The 40-Year-Old Virgin Witch. If you have read the book and you like it, I think it's still free on Kindle. Let me know. Maybe I'm the only one who doesn't like the book, but I just didn't like it. So I spun the wheel again. I'm really excited about this because Ninth House is actually my latest book that I got last week. I did add it onto the list because I think it's the perfect spooky read with the Dark Academia vibes. I wanted to read it, so I was probably just gonna pick it out to read anyway later on in the season if I didn't spin it yet. But now I spun it on my second try, so I'm gonna be reading Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. I'm really excited about it, and I'm gonna let you know what it's like. So I am in my bed with all my plushies, and we're gonna read Ninth House. Exciting. Okay, I'm like 10% in. Also, it smells awfully like weed in here. I'm drenched, but this means it's perfect weather for reading books. Hello my dear friends, it's been a little while. Like I said, I will be vlogging throughout October and November for this reading vlog, but it's already November. It's actually been a long time. I've been reading Ninth House for like 3 weeks already. So far, am I like 40% in or something? It's fine. I'm not sure what I think of it yet because the beginning I was intrigued. It was really exciting. I kept reading, but I feel like we just keep hitting like these slumps in the story. I don't know, that I'm not that excited to keep reading the book, So I'm not sure yet if this is for me, but I'll just finish it because I am enjoying it, and I like the parts as soon as it gets a bit exciting with like the ghosts and everything. It's intriguing, and I read right through it. I'm like, oh my god, but all the bits in between, it's a lot of explaining and not saying a lot, if you know what I mean. She keeps going like back, like I won't give any spoilers, but the thing is, like, she keeps, there's like a dual time thing. We're like in the past and in the present at the same time, and just one chapter's in the past, one chapter's in the present, whatever. We keep going back to past. She kind of just talks about it as if she remembers them, but we keep kind of like, it's like a memory. She never finishes it, so it's like in the beginning of the book we start the memory, and then we go up to like 10% of the story, and then next time we basically just start it again, and then go up to 20% of the story, and then later on in the book we start at the same point again, and then we go up to 40. So it's a lot of repeating and just giving slightly more, but sometimes it feels like she's not giving enough, and I'm losing intrigue, you know. That's it. Also, I'm sorry I look like this. This is my reading look. I do want to give a different reading update because I did read some books in between while reading Ninth House. I didn't have them on my TBR for this month, and I didn't have them in that lovely wheel that I showed. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to read them. So what I read, because it was just easier to do. I'm cold. I'm sorry. It was just easy to read for me at work during breaks. So I read 2 books by Junji Ito. I read Uzumaki and Shiver. And Shiver is just a short story collection, basically. Uzumaki in itself also. So Uzumaki is, if you know Junji Ito makes graphic novels. And I was really in the mood to read a graphic novel, and I've been wanting to read Junji Ito for a long time. I thought spooky season would be the best time point to start reading Junji Ito. So I started with Uzumaki, which is about a town that is obsessed with spirals. And basically there's like 20 chapters, and every single chapter feels like its own short story, and it all has something to do with spirals. And it's very interesting. It's very intriguing. It's also a bit gory, so if you're not into that, then don't read it. But I love the artwork, and I just read through it in a day. I was like, I'm obsessed. I can't stop thinking about Uzumaki, honestly. Every single time I see a spiral, I get a little bit freaked out. It's a spiral. I see spirals a lot nowadays. I'm also really freaked out by snails now. Like, I'm not scared of them, but they creep me out a lot more. Like, they just make me feel like icky. All because of Junji Ito's work. So yeah, I think he has accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. And I must confess, I did give Uzumaki by Junji Ito 5 stars, which I think is my first 5-star read this entire year. Yeah, I've been a bit picky this year about giving 5 stars to my book. I just haven't read a book that really felt like being a 5-star book. Like, just give me that feeling like I'm gonna be thinking about this for a long time, and I want to revisit it or whatever. I haven't had that in a little bit. I don't think I've had that at all this entire year. So, but yeah, Uzumaki definitely hit that spot for me. A great story, just the way Junji Ito conjures up these kinds of stories. It's wild to me. It's all thought through. The artwork is beautiful. It looks really cool. I just love the absolutely eerie feel of everything. It's all just creepy. I loved it. And the ending was great. I had a really good time with Uzumaki. So then after that, I also read Shiver, which is just a collection of short stories. And because it's a collection, you can't really rate it that well because some stories are better than others. I really enjoyed Shiver. Some of the stories were really good. There was a story from Tomi in there, so I want to read Tomi next. But yeah, I gave that 4 stars because it wasn't like the greatest story, because also it's the short stories, so some of them were a bit less and some of them were a bit better, which is fine, but it's still a really good book. I'm really happy that I read it, and I really want to read more by Junji Ito because I've been enjoying it a lot. So that's what I read in the meantime. This weekend, I really want to finish Ninth House. I think I'm gonna be doing some reading sprints tomorrow. So that was my idea for this weekend. And I hope I can read quite a lot because I really want to. Right now, I'm really tired, so I'm gonna try to read a page or two, but I think I'll fall asleep within a second. So yeah, I don't know. I finished 2 graphic novels in the meantime, but we're gonna continue Ninth House now. I read a bunch and have like a third of the book left, but honestly, I don't know what it is with this book. When I'm reading it, I'm like, this is exciting, I'm intrigued, I'll keep reading, and I'll read through like 100 pages in one sitting. But then when I stop reading, even if it's just for 5 minutes, I'm just not intrigued enough to go back. Anyway, let's see how far we can get still this evening. Hello, my friends. It is currently November 6th and it's 9 a.m., 9 p.m. and I'm in bed reading. Honestly, I'm almost done. I kind of really want to finish this book tonight. And the thing is, I'm having like an anxiety day. I had to give a presentation today, which is really not up my alley. I don't like it. Which gave me like nice anxiety fun times, but I did it and it went well. So it's now 9. I haven't really had any dinner yet, so I'm just gonna girl dinner, go for some nachos with salsa and then maybe go in with some noodles or something later. I don't know, but it's just because it's an anxiety day. Nothing sounds good at all. I've been in bed since like 7:30. I had plans for the night, just like to do stuff, but I just really just want to finish my book, and I think like I deserve to relax a little bit. So I'm not doing much. It's still 9. Still have a couple hours to go before I need to go to bed. So I just really want to sit down and finish this book. I have like about 100 pages left. Yeah, just under 100 pages, which will take me about 2.5 hours, depends on how focused I can remain on this book. Because I don't know what it is with this book. When I'm reading, I'm like, oh my god, this is intriguing. I need to know more. What is happening? But as soon as I put the book away, it's like I've never read it. I have no clue what's going on. And it does not intrigue me enough to pick it back up again for some reason. Even though I really want to finish it. And like Saturday evening, I read like 150 pages in one sitting. And I'm like, nice, great, but for some reason it doesn't pull me back in, you know? I really need the ending to be like something grand and intriguing. Otherwise I might not even get or read Hellbent, which is the second book in the series. But so far I'm enjoying the book. It's just I'm not pulled in. Did I already mention? I did read Tomi by Junji Ito yesterday, so I finished that. Didn't mention that yet. So that's 3 Junji Ito mangas down. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I'd do a little tiny reading sprint right now. So yeah, it's literally just cozy up, read my book. That's my plan for now. So I'm gonna have my snacks and I'm gonna read my book and we're gonna have a good time.
Hello, it is me. I'm editing this video and I just realized that I never told you that I finished 9000 and what I thought of it. The ending was fine. It wasn't that good. It was fun and enjoyable, but that's about it. It had its very slow parts. It wasn't always intriguing to me, so it didn't keep me reading the book. So I know it's really not my favorite book. It's still good. So I'd give it like 3.5 stars. And I will read Hellbent at some point, but not anytime soon. Like, I want to know what happens next, but I'm really not intrigued enough to need to know what happens next, you know? So, that's my little 9000 review. Let's keep going.
Hello friends, it's been a few days. A reading update on My Sister the Serial Killer. I finished it. This was a really short book. You read through it quite quickly. It's only 220 pages and also the pages look like this. There's barely any text on them and the chapters are really short, so there's a lot of like almost empty pages. So it's basically like 100 pages or something. So you read through it really quickly. I think it took me like 2.5 hours or something, 3 hours to finish it. I don't know. I'm not sure about this book because I enjoyed it. Like, I read through it quite quickly. I wanted to keep reading it. I wanted to finish the book. So that's always a good sign if I actually want to work on it and finish it. It's a little bit, support women's wrongs is the vibe. And I'm actually not sure what my thoughts are. It's kind of like I feel bad for literally every single character, basically. And I don't feel like there's any like real conclusion of the story. I don't know, I think I'll give it 3.5 stars so far. Because I really enjoyed it. It was fun. a bit witty. It read really quickly. I like the writing style. You know what I was thinking? Actually, I'm wearing my Tommy sweater. I don't know if I've shown this already. I got a Tommy sweater. Well, because I want to talk about Tommy now as well. So, look, she's here. Here. I think it's a really cool sweater. I love it very much. It's from Bershka. It's the painter episode of Tommy. I think it's really cool because I wanted to say that this book also, like, in a way gives me the same vibes as Tommy. Like, Tommy is commentary on how people, on like sexualization of schoolgirls and sexualization of women. Tommy takes it into an entire horror genre where, you know, kind of Tommy, I see Tommy as a parasite. She makes use of men's wants and urges to basically reproduce. This book gave me similar vibes. Of course, not the weird parasitic horror aspect of it, but the sister, the serial killer, yeah, she is stunning, and she uses her extremely good looks in her favor, basically to lure in men and do with them whatever she wants. In that aspect, I kind of got like similar vibes, and I enjoyed that actually. And I feel like basically every single person in this book is not a good person. And I feel really bad for the main character, but also the choices that she makes. You're like, why, how, you know? And it's really interesting because it also talks a lot about culture, because this place, the setting is in Nigeria, within a Nigerian family, and their cultural, like, almost like she needs to do certain things because it's expected of her in her culture. And it's really interesting because in certain scenes of the book, it's kind of like being used against her, and then when she goes against what is expected of her, people call her out for it, like, you're not supposed to do that, that's really bad, you're a terrible sister, because you are supposed to support your sister, because that's just, you know, family, and you need to do it, even though she is struggling with the morality of how she's supporting her sister is actually doing really bad things. You know, it's I don't know, it's really interesting. I liked it. It was just a really short read. It was witty, it was fun. Yeah, I feel like basically every single character in this book is just bad. I don't feel like there's any good characters, but that's kind of what I enjoy. It makes for just interesting storytelling as well. But there's no real, like, big conclusion of the story, so do keep that in mind. You're not gonna get, like, an entirely big resolution or something. So I'm gonna spin the wheel again soon to pick my next read, which is maybe gonna be my last read for this vlog, but we'll see. I do wanna give a little haul in the meantime, because yesterday was my birthday. Well, that wasn't my birthday, that's a lie. I celebrated my birthday yesterday with my boyfriend and our friends, because we were also celebrating my boyfriend's birthday. I asked for books. My friends gave me books. So I want to do a little book haul. One of the books, this is just funny. Mythos by Stephen Fry. This is my book. It's mine. I've had it for a long time. I love it. I think I need to read it again, because I just love Greek mythology. And honestly, you can just read the stories on their own. But my friend borrowed this from me like 5 years ago, and he finally finished it and returned it back to me as a birthday gift. So yeah, this is it. So yeah, I got Mythos by Stephen Fry, which I think is a really great book. And then I got 3 new books from my friends, and I think they're amazing. My friend got me this. No one's gonna recognize this. It's a Dutch book. It's also a German book. It's both. But it's myths and legends from the area where I'm from originally, Twente in the Netherlands. Yeah, and it's just myths and legends from that area. She went off to different, like, thrift stores to find this book, and it's really cute. I love it, and I can just read a few of the stories every evening. They're quite short, but I just like reading the stories. I think it's really cute. So I got that one. And then my other friends got me 2 books from my wish list. The vibes of the covers are just totally opposite. I feel like they're goth girlfriends and gamer boyfriends, you know. So for Gamer Boyfriend, we've of course got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Seven. I've been wanting to read for a while now. I've heard so many good things about this. I heard that it's beautiful, a bit heartbreaking, and I like the story of them, you know, developing a video game together and everything. And I don't know. I've heard just many good things. And also, I don't know very much about it, but I just really enjoy going into books not knowing much about them. Like, I know people enjoy this book, it's a good book, and that's all I need to know, and then I'll read it. But also, this cover is stunning. I think it's beautiful. And you have Hokusai's Great Wave on the background, just beautiful, and then all the bright colors. It's definitely giving video game vibes. I think it's absolutely stunning. So yeah, I'm really excited to read that. And then the goth girlfriend, we got this thick boy, Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is like, I think this is the most stunning book I own. Do you see that? That's beautiful, this lettering. And then this cover, I think this is literally the most beautiful book I have. And it's thick as well. She's over 500 pages. She's a big one. And I know it has something to do with magic in translating a language. But that's it. But also look at the naked cover. I think it's very simple. It doesn't have anything else, but I think it's very stunning in and of itself. I think it's beautiful. So yeah, I can't wait to read this at some point. And I have a few new books that I still want to get to, but I also want to, I want to space them out between books that I've had a little longer, just because I don't want to get through all my new books really quickly, because then they're gone, basically. You know what I mean? It's like using stickers. So, I don't know when I'll read them, so I don't think I'll add them to my list. Also not Babel. I think also because she's really thick, so I feel like it's a book that I need to get into at the point that I'm like, now is the time, and I want to get into such a thick book. Stunning books, really appreciate it from all my friends. I have some good reading left, but we're gonna spin. There's still 15 on them. But I can. How many books did I read so far this vlog? Because I did read quite a lot of the Junji Ito manga. So that's 3, 4. Because I read Gyo, Shiver. Did I tell you about Gyo yet? That I read Gyo. I read Gyo, which is also honestly disturbing. I feel like that one is maybe like the most disturbing one so far. Not the best one, but the most disturbing one. The best one so far is definitely Uzumaki. That one is definitely my favorite. And Tomi is really good. The short stories in Shiver were also really good. I'm 6 books ahead of schedule for my year. That's great. Anyway, how many books did I read in this vlog? A Diary of Blood, and the short story that belongs with it, An Encore of Roses. Then we read Uzumaki, Shiver, Tomi, and Gyo. And we read Ninth House, and now My Sister the Serial Killer. So that's 8 books in one vlog? You're kidding. No, I don't read that much. Oh well, it does really help that I've been reading the manga, because I blow through them so easily. But anyway, we have 13 books left on the list. We're gonna spin the wheel and see what the next read will be. Oh no. I don't know if I'm excited about it. The thing with The Shining is, I've already started this book. I think I'm like 80 pages in or something. And I did that like 3 years ago. And we're getting to like the spooky things. And the reason I started reading The Shining is because I just love spooky horror things. And I like to get into more spooky horror things. But also, I'm a literal baby. I think so many things are so incredibly scary. I want to watch The Shining because I think it's like a really cool, iconic movie. I get really into movies with like the sound effects and the music. It really gets me on edge. Music is a really big thing for me, like my mood and whatever. Music is very important to me in films and whatever. So I feel like if I read the book, you know, I can make it in my brain as scary as it needs to be, and then it's gonna be a less scary version, and I can handle that. And then maybe I can watch the movie then. That was my thought process. So I started the book, I just never finished it. And I feel like it's spooky season. Well, it's not spooky season anymore. In my brain, it's still spooky season. I feel like it's a good moment to continue it and finish it, but honestly, I'm a bit nervous. We're gonna get started on that one. I don't have the physical copy here. I'll have it tonight. So I think in the train, I'll read the ebook version. I'll start. I'm not sure yet if I need, because I don't know where exactly in the story I am. So I'm not sure if I just need to start again. Maybe. And then I can just continue maybe either where I left off in the train or where I left off last time, depending on how much I still remember when I get home. So that's my goal. Gonna try and read The Shining. Maybe we can do 10 books this vlog. That would be fun. Let's read The Shining, besties.
Hello friends, it's the 15th and I just finished The Shining. I mainly listened to the audiobook and did some few chapters in between of the ebook and the ending. I have some thoughts, but I'm really not in the mood right now to talk to you about it, so we'll do that at a later time point. But in the meantime, I picked my next read, or the wheel picked my next read. Which is Hazel's Pentacle by Martha Jongbloed. It's a Dutch YA novel about witches. And it's not that thick. And the letters are really big, so I'm kind of in the mood for that after the absolutely giant pill. Oh, apparently this is a trilogy. Good to know. Anyway, it's 238 pages, not that big. Gonna try it out. And like I said, I want to read it because I want to read 10 books. Can you imagine reading 10 books in one reading vlog? Wild. Talk to you later about The Shining, but this will be the next read. And let's hope it's good. Well, hello, my friends. Welcome. It's the next evening. I'm in bed again. Of course, you can only see me in bed when I'm reading, I have a tiny bit of time now to talk about what I thought of The Shining. So I wanted to just go over that for a tiny bit. Because also, I just now watched The Shining today. I felt like it was time to watch it. I was discussing it with my colleague today. She was telling me some things about the movie, and I was like, that's really different from the book. I'm really intrigued at what the movie is like, so I need to watch it. I need to watch it, not watch it. Oh my god. So I just did, because I don't know, I wanted to. And I was doing makeup anyways, I needed something to play in the background. So I just watched The Shining in the meantime. Seeing them both, there are a lot of differences with the book. I feel like the main premise is the same, but that's about it. If I have to look at both, I thoroughly prefer the book. I definitely do. At first I was like, the book, it's a bit like, it's good. I really enjoyed the audiobook, but it had its very slow moments, and it was a thick book for the fact that not everything was needed to be in the book, But because it was such a long book, we had a lot of time to really build up the character changes that Jack Torrance is going through. And you can really tell that the hotel has some sort of influence on him. If you haven't seen the movie and haven't read the book yet, I won't give spoilers. But you can really tell. I've just been thinking, have I even been explaining the previous books I've been reading? I feel like I've literally just shared my thoughts on not even what the books are about. This is the most awful reading vlog. I am so sorry. Okay, but The Shining is about a boy named Danny who has The Shining, which is a sixth sense, basically. He can read people's minds sometimes, read their emotions. He can see things that happen in the past or sometimes also things that happen in the future. His dad takes on a job as the winter caretaker of the Overlook Hotel. The Overlook Hotel has to close down the entirety of winter due to the roads not being accessible through the snowfall. They remain there the entirety of the winter to take care of the hotel and just live there. So they're the only people there. And then spooky things start happening. I'm tired, I'm sorry. Spooky things start happening. And in the book, it was a bit slow, especially in the beginning, I felt. And at some point start the story, or there was just pages upon pages of explanation and thoughts and
whatever, without it really going anywhere or those thoughts being used for the rest of the book. I feel like it definitely could have just been cut a lot shorter, which, you know, it's like so many pages. So what I did really enjoy, and especially after watching the movie, what I definitely preferred about the book is because it's longer, you have all that time to really drag on the character development and really simmer on the details and compile the whole picture. And I think the movie, like in the book, especially the beginning of the book, I was rooting for Jack Torrance basically, because this man, he has done some terrible things in his life, but he is really trying to set it straight again and start a normal life, and also to take proper care of his family. So you're rooting for him basically. You want him to get a nice job, so he can do that. And then slowly but surely the hotel brings out his darker side, and you start hating him more and more and being a bit scared of what he might do next. And in the movie, I feel like from the beginning of the movie, they made him out to be an asshole. Which, like, yes, he is an asshole, but he's like a secret asshole, basically. It's not the main part of his character. Just the hotel brings it out of him. So he becomes more and more of an asshole the longer he's in the hotel. But in the beginning, he's really trying to be the most loving and caring dad as well. And I feel like the movie did not show that at all. So the movie was very much just, this is already an angry man and he gets angrier. You don't get the eerie character development that you get in the book that really shows the influence of the hotel on the people. I feel like that was missing in the movie. And the hedge animals. I wanted to see the hedge animals. I don't want to see a maze. I want to see hedge animals. Like, mulling it over for a day, watching the movie, comparing thoughts. I did really enjoy the book. Also, otherwise I wouldn't have listened to 16 hours of a goddamn audiobook. So I think I'll give it a 3.5 stars. And I think that's a really decent rating. And I did really enjoy it. I had a good time with listening to it. And I wanted to keep listening. And now I'm going to continue reading Hazel's Pentacle. Honestly, I lied a little bit to you. Because I told y'all I was gonna read Hazel's Pentacle. Which, I don't know if I even said the it's Hazel's Pentacle. I don't know if Hazel is just the person, I think. I'm not even sure, because I didn't even start the book. I read like 20 pages of it. But then I ran into a different book. I was on a train Friday and I wanted to read, but the train was absolutely jam-packed and I couldn't sit anywhere. I had to stand like this. So there was really no way I could take my book out of my bag and read my physical book. So I wanted to read an ebook. So I ran into this book like a week ago and I've been wanting to read it since I saw it because it seemed so interesting and like 1000% on my alley. I was like, okay, I'll start that book then, because I got the ebook. So I read that. Thing is, it's Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. And it said that this book was going to be like some sort of Frankenstein-esque book. I just finished it. You just saw me cry. I haven't had this feeling about a book in a while. It was so good. Honestly, it was just, I don't think I haven't cried about a book in a while. I haven't cried about a book in a while. It's about a girl. Her name is Hazel. Oh, that's funny actually. I was supposed to read Hazel's Pentacle and now I read a book about Hazel. Anyway, it's about a Hazel and she's a 17-year-old girl and she's been obsessed with human anatomy her entire life. But the thing is, it's the early 1800s. You know, women aren't allowed to do anything. And she desperately wants to become a physician, but of course she's not allowed. I don't know, she just starts studying. She tries to follow courses from like a famous physician. I don't know, and she starts studying to become a physician, and at a certain point she wants to start practicing on dead bodies, and she runs into this boy who is a resurrection man, so someone who takes dead bodies out of graves and supplies them to the university, for example, or other paying people to practice anatomy on, basically. And this resurrection man, this boy, he starts helping her to provide the bodies. And just a ton of shit goes down and something weird is going on. It's set in Edinburgh. Great city. Definitely the vibes. Weird stuff starts happening and they start figuring it out, and oh my god, it was so good. It was just it's a YA novel, and it was just the perfect vibes for fall. It's also it happens in fall, but it just Edinburgh in fall. Weird anatomy stuff, weird surgeries and cutting people open. And why am I it looks like I'm emotional about that. It was just so good. I was literally like pinching my I don't know, clenching my butt cheeks to wait see what was happening. I was like in the train and I just needed like 20 more pages on the ebook, and I was like, I have to get off this train. And I walked in the pouring rain, having my phone like this, reading, trying to get all the raindrops off, reading more because I just needed to know how it finished. I was literally clenching butt cheeks to figure out what would happen in the end. Like, most of the twist, like the shocking plot twist of the weird stuff that was going on, I feel like I figured it out quite early already. But, like, the ending. But apparently, my beating heart can be still because it's a duology. And there's a part 2. It's 10:45. I just go home. I have nothing else to do. I'm gonna get cozy. I'm already downloading book 2 and I'm gonna start on that because I need to know what happened. I literally started reading this book Friday evening and I just finished it. Every single moment that I had like a spare moment to read, I read because I'm obsessed. It's so good. It's at least a 4.5 stars. I'm obsessed. I need to stop talking and start reading. Oh my god. I just remembered that I don't think I have even showed you my new bookcase yet, which I'm very excited about. Here we go. It's so small. It's beautiful. Look at her. Isn't she stunning? It's a retro bookcase that my boyfriend found in the thrift store, and you can have books on every side. And it also has wheels, so you can sort of like turn it, but it's really heavy because of the books now, so I won't. But look how cute! Isn't it stunning? And it perfectly fits all of my physical TBR. All of the books that I've read, I have at my parents' place, so this is just my TBR. And it just perfectly fits it all. And it's so cute. I'm so excited. Anyway, we're gonna be reading Immortality by Dana Schwartz, and it's gonna be the final book in this reading vlog because reading 10 freaking books in one vlog is kind of a lot, but I want to read this book. I need to know what happens next. It's December 1st. I want to upload my vlog tomorrow, so this is gonna be the last day that I'm filming, but I'm also almost done with this book. I'm at page 500 something from 700. Ebook pages, are like on my phone, so they're really short. Anyway, I'm gonna be done in a little bit. I like this book less than the first one. There's just something that's just not quite gripping me yet. It's enjoyable and I'll read it, but I'm really not intrigued as much as I was in the first book. I'm sorry I'm squinting like that. I'm not wearing my glasses and I can't see anything. I don't know, it's just not gripping me yet. A tiny bit of a little bit of a love triangle going on, but I'm not that interested in it. Also, I'm not really a big fan of love triangles to begin with, but that's my thoughts so far. I'm gonna keep reading. Also, it's really sunny outside. 2 days ago, it was snowing so heavily, and now it's like, look how bright and sunny. It's wild. I'm gonna finish reading my book. Okay, friends, I finished the book. It's the final book of this reading vlog, the final one, finally. The 10th book of this reading vlog. I finished it, which I will give like 4 stars. It was a fun book. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't as good as Anatomy. Anatomy was so good. There's like there was like a love triangle in the 3rd book, which at some points intrigued me, but at other points it just felt utterly useless. Plus, there's not really like much of a goal in the book, you know what I mean? Like in the 1st book, the goal was that she wanted to become a physician and she wanted to study for that. And she had to go through these loopholes to get there. And then in this book, there's some sort of a tiny bit of a goal in there, but she doesn't really work towards it that much. It almost feels like the goal that she has to get through, like that she has to work for, the reason why everything is happening, feels like a side plot instead of the main plot, which I didn't really like. So yeah, might as well not have read that book. Basically didn't add that much for me. I would recommend the 1st book a lot and then just leave it there basically. So yeah, that's my thoughts. That's the reading vlog, people. Finally, we finished it. I will edit it now so you can see it as soon as possible. If you enjoyed this fall reading vlog, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. What's even more from me, my blog and my Instagram are all linked down below, so you can check it out as well. That's gonna be it for me today. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Toodles!